stand with the people.
The champ is here.
I will not lose.
I'm a bad man. I shook up the world.
Yes, welcome. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with we. My name is EJ, and I got my man.
Yeah, mate.
Yes, he is the DB of the show, and we are Black in Sports, giving a voice to the culture that won't shut up and dribble. Here, interviewing the best professionals in the game and in the boardroom, covering it all, laughing at it all, while providing a platform to be heard. So, without further ado, our audience, you know what we do. We got to welcome our guest, right? So, he's a top fuel racer, all right? Circle of Achievement Award granted by his home state of New Jersey. Four-time NHRA World Champion. When I say the world, Craig, the world, four-time champion and owner and driver of AB Motorsports. Let's please clap it up for Antron Brown. Thank you so much, Mr. Brown, for jumping on with us. Man, love to see it, right? Like four-time, right? So before we get into all of that, how we start all of our shows is we ask for a shoot your shot moment. So this could have been a moment anytime in life thus far. It could have been in your early days. It could have been in a most recent race. It could have been, just any time in life where you went for something and you shot your shot. Now, you could have won or you could have learned a lesson. So give us a quick shoot your shot moment.
Man, I would tell you one thing is I guess my shoot my shot moment, I guess it came down to the point where I was racing pro stock motorcycle and I wanted to make the switch to the top of the sport, which is top fuel in the NHRA drag racing. And man, I tell you what, I never forget, I was in the airport and I got asked that question if you would drive a top fuel car. And I remember it resonates like yesterday where I said, yes, I will. And they said, but can you? And I said these words, I will and I can. I didn't mean that I could do it, but it meant that I will and I can. And once I told them that, and I said just the confidence because I watched it and I played it through my mind over and over again. And I watched all these drivers do their craft in this sport. And I was like, this is what they do. This is what makes this driver great. This is what doesn't make this one that good. This is what makes this one win 16 world championships. This is what made this one do this. And then when I did all that, I did so many mental reps when I sat in the car for the first time and understood all the mechanics about it. It's like I really prepared myself for when the opportunity came. And when that opportunity came, man, I was all over it, brother. I was on it, man. It was like when you say you on mashed potatoes like gravy, I was like on the mashed potatoes with the pepper underneath the gravy, baby. You know what I mean? That's how it was. And then when I got in there, I never looked back and never gave it a chance.
I love it. I love it.
I mean, I know you a record breaker, so I think you might have set a new record here on Black in Sports as far as the title of the show. 2 minutes into the record, I will and I can. I think EJ, I think we got a winner, man. I really do. I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
Where'd your love for sports start?
Man, honestly, it started at an early age for me, man. I'm the youngest sibling. I was the youngest sibling in my family at the time, and I had an older brother that was 6 years older than me. So he put me through the mill, man. So he used to beat me down, beat me up. I used to play football, basketball, ran track, I played baseball, played soccer. I played every sport there was, man, because our family, we just like to compete, man. And I'll tell you, this is the funny part. I got in the motorsport realm because my dad and uncle, they were weekend warriors. They drag race. You know what I mean? We lived up in Trenton, New Jersey, right across the bridge from Philly. So you had a lot of people that came over from Philly, from Center Street. They used to street race. They showed up at ACO, which is the drag strip right across the bridge. They used to go out there and race what they had, street bikes to drag cars to cars they put together from the junkyard. And whoever was the quickest, man, used to put the money down. I used to be up in the stands as a kid betting $1 at a time. Like, hey, man, what you got? Who you got? I got the left lane. You got the right lane? And that's how they used to do it. And for me, it was just like, it didn't make a difference what it was. My family competed from pitching quarters against the wall. Who can get close to the wall? You take up all the money. To my dad had a practice tree, which is the starting mechanism in drag racing. All of his street racing buddies will come over, and they used to do it on a Friday, Saturday night. They used to put money down on the practice tree, like to practice your reaction time, how quick you were. So I was a kid. I brought my little, bro, I remember like yesterday. I got one of these little rabbit piggy banks from the dentist's office that had a little window in it. And I
Mm-hmm.
used to have all the quarters in there. I used to take all my change out that piggy bank and bring it out with me. And every night I used to come back with dollar bills because I was taking all those old men money on the practice tree.
I love it. So very competitive and just kind of establishing from the sports spectrum, right? So you played all of them, but which ones kind of started to take hold, coming up through middle school and high school?
Well, I could tell you this in middle school, where I grew up in New Jersey, as South Jersey. So what a lot of deals had, we didn't have like bitty football wasn't popular back then. You know what I mean? So a lot of kids play soccer and baseball. That's what it was, soccer and baseball. And we had basketball. So I played basketball because my brother played basketball all the time. And I was a fast runner. So what I used to tell people was I was always an all-star on the team because I was usually I was the fastest kid on the team at
Mm-hmm.
running. You get what I mean? So and then I was aggressive because you got to remember I grew up with kids that were 6 years older than me. I played with my brother's friends, so I played with kids my age. It was like it wa- it was just like child's play, man. It was just like what like you want some of this or whatever you wanted to do. But for me, it got to be a point where I was just trying to play every sport, and I always told I was a jack of all trades, a master of none. But if somebody was better than me, it challenged me to get better. It made my level rise. I was always the type of person when I play with better athletes, it made me better. It made me rise. You get what I mean? And it wasn't like I was a quick study. I started learning and figuring out what their weakness is, and I never even realized this. But when I played basketball in when I was in middle school, like seventh, eighth grade,
Right.
I'm looking at kids. If they were left-handed, I'm gonna push them to the right. If they right-handed, I'm gonna push them to the left. And like kids used to play them squared up, I push them to the weak side. And when they try to cross back over to the right side, I steal the ball, go up the court, make a layup. So it was
Andy.
just like it just learning. Like I was a student of the game, and I didn't even realize it. But my older brother, used to do that to me. So
Mm,
he played me to my weakness and used to beat me down. So I used to do it to the kids that were my age.
there you go. Well, it's crazy because it seemed like, I mean, we're jumping all around, but track took off for you, right?
Oh
Like you've
yeah.
always been fast to like, and we're talking not just playground fast, right? We're talking Olympic tryout fast, right? So, um, did you really do it in practice or like just was naturally fast? Like, did you run track at all in high school?
No, I ran track in high school and I went out because I played baseball my ninth grade year. So I didn't run track. So I went out on the track team and I could have made varsity my ninth grade year out running track. Because my 10th grade, I was varsity. I was the fastest kid on the track team in 10th grade. So I just remember like running 100, 200 long jumping and doing stuff like that. But I just remember one thing that that for me, I didn't realize how fast I really was. I just knew I was always fast, always challenged myself, always like ran. And my older brother was really fast and he ran track and played basketball. And it came from my grandpa. He played AAA baseball and he ran like 10-9 in the 100 yards back in the early days. It's 100 yards, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but that was fast back in the days because you talking back in the 50s. You get what I'm saying? So I just remember me coming up and just running different stuff. I remember my cousins used to knock it on my window and get me to come outside because they were gambling and had me foot racing people, grown men when I was young. Hey, AB going to take him out. AB going to do this. I'm like, what is this all about? And then when I got into high school, this is the
Hmm.
crazy part. People don't realize, but they knew I was into motocross racing, dirt bike racing. So sports were just something I did to keep me occupied during school and staying in shape. And I was going on up and down the East Coast in the amateur youth in the youth nationals up and down the coast, like going to district qualifiers, regionals, and going to Loretta Lynn's and racing motocross. And that's where I really love that. And then in sports, I ran really fast in track and field, but I didn't realize how fast I was until football coach. 'Cause I played soccer up to 10th grade, and
That's what it.
this is the funniest part, man. Because I played varsity soccer I played JV and varsity in ninth grade, and I played varsity soccer in 10th grade. I was straight varsity as a freshman. And our school had a really good soccer team. But this is the funny part. I played basketball. And when the basketball coach was a football coach. So what he used to do was he used to time people running back and up and down the basketball court, doing suicides, right? I smoke everybody, brother. By the time everybody's going down the court the last time, I'm already coming past and up. It's away sitting at the other end. Right. So then my coach goes, I need to time you. Time me a what? He goes, man, I want to see what you do in the 40 yards. So he made me run the 40 yards. I was in 10th grade. I ran the 40 in a 4.32 in 10th grade. So he was like, son, you done with soccer.
Yeah.
It's like, you done. He said, and I could catch a football. I did all that stuff. Like, it ain't no big deal. So I ended up being a defensive back and play a little bit wide receiver. And then they had me start doing some running back stuff and doing some stuff like that, man. And I fell in love with that sport too, man. So it was one of those deals. That's why I started doing that. I had some wheels underneath my feet. You know what I mean? And that's never realized because I did so much. I never focused on one thing. Like I said, I was a jack of all trades, a master of none. But when I got out of high school, and I didn't go right to college because I had plans of being a professional motocross racer. And I got hurt pretty bad, and I ended up going to a junior college in New Jersey called Mercer, which is like a community school, but it's a Division I junior college that bring athletes in that didn't do their SATs, ACTs. You go there for 2 years, and you end up going like to Temple, Penn State. You can go to any colleges like that around
Right.
around the North Jersey areas. Like, you could pick any school if you were a good athlete from that college. So I went there, and man, I said, I want to do something. I'm going to walk out on the track team. I came in at springtime, so I'm going to do track. Right? I walked out on the track team. They gave me a full scholarship, brother. I got a full scholarship to school. I ended up being the fastest kid on the track team, of course. I didn't know it was going to happen that way.
Sure.
But we had people from Jamaica, Trinidad, running there because they came in there from out of country, come there, and they end up playing soccer and going to big schools to play soccer. And like here in the States, is how they do it. And that was one of the schools that brought them in and did all that stuff. And I went out there, man. The coach's like, where are you from? I was like, man, I went to Northern Burlington. And he's like, were you that kid at Northern Burlington that came from the school with the cows out front that ran real fast? I said, that's me, sir.
The cows out front. Love it.
We're country school, man. We're like my school. We had all the Air Force Base kids from McGuire Air Force Base went to our school, and Pemberton had the orange and yellow. The yellow and green school that had all the kids that came from Fort Dix, the Army base, that were side by side to each other. So we always had kids from all across the country that went to our school because we had the Air Force and Army base there.
Yep. I was going to be disappointed if in the story with Speed, if a football coach weren't out there doing something. So I'm glad that there was a football coach scouting, because I was going to be really disappointed in whoever the football coach is that he didn't get you to at least return some kicks or something. So
I did.
I know. He's not doing his job if not.
Hey,
a reverse something.
I got the encounters and the reverses, baby.
Yeah.
I never did the draws. The draws were for the big boys. Because I was small. I'm like 5'8", and I was like 165 pounds in high school. So like this. I was going.
Now, you had to. Let me ask you this. Now, based on the background, you weren't taking too many L's, right? But growing up with brothers, and your brother was scouting you, I'm sure he got some W's over you. So the fast kids don't really take L's growing up, from experience. We don't really take L's. But dealing with those adversities, taking some L's, even at that young part of age, how did you deal with that?
Well, this is the crazy part, man, is my brother was 6 years older than me. So he toughened me up, Daddy-O. When I'm talking about tough, I wanted to go play with him all the time, and he never wanted me to come because I was like the little sidekick that I couldn't keep up or do this. So we used to play football, and the game is if I started crying, I had to go home, right? I had to go home. That was it. You start crying, you go home. Mom, you hear that? Because he's hanging with the big kids, right? And I never understood why me and my brother was on the same team, because he wouldn't get in trouble. But as soon as we start playing, he'll hand the ball off to me. And his friends will tackle me. And they pick me up, slammed in the ground, man. Knocked the wind out of me. I couldn't breathe. I'm like, I started going, you can see me about to cry. He goes, you cried? I go home. I'm like,
Yeah, go home. That's the rule.
I'm like, what? I'm like, why y'all always handing the ball off to me for? Why y'all doing AB handoff like 5 times in a row? They're trying to get me out, man. Quick. So this is the funny part. And then when I used to play basketball and everything with my brother, anything that we played like that, I could never beat him. He just smacked my stuff off in the woods. Anything we played, right? And then like if I take a shot, it wouldn't let me get it off. If I get past him with one quick dribble, because I got him one time, he would push me and foul me so I couldn't score. Cause I just get the ball back. So he just did brother. He just did me wrong, like medieval, man, medieval. And
That's
all I
that's,
remember,
hey, that's big brother preparation
That
right
is.
there.
Yeah.
but what it did was when I turned 16, I had so animosity. You can even ask my brother. What's my brother's on the show right now? He will tell you when I turned 16, he never won another basketball game 1-on-1 again. He never beat me in anything. Anything we did, we got in the go-karts, never beat me. If we did anything and running, never beat me. Like I wore him out, and I don't care if I broke my leg, I'll still beat him. You get what I mean? Like it was like all or nothing. And
Full force.
I never forget my brother told me this. He looked at me one time, he goes, Ant, because that's what they called me, Ant, like when I was growing up. He goes, Bogey, I am so sorry for what I did to you when we grew up. That's what he used to say to me, man. That's what he used
I
to say
love
to me.
it.
I'm like, because brother, I was inflicting the pain, brother. Like the karma was coming back and I wasn't letting off. And the sad part is, you see all the trophies behind me and all the wins I have in Top Fuel and all that stuff. And even my kids will tell you this. My kids never beat me ever on the practice tree, like in the average run. You know what I mean? They might beat me once, twice, 3 or 4. Like my son Anson's coming up doing really good. But I never forget their mom used to say, why don't you ever let them win? Like I said, ain't no false hope in this family. I said, if they
Nope.
get me, they gonna feel it. They gonna know they did something. I said,
Absolutely.
this world ain't false. This world is real. And if you want to get somewhere, you want to do something, they got to put the work in to beat me. If they ain't putting the work, they ain't coming close, baby. They ain't coming close.
I love it. So let's jump into the work. All right. So this is the part of the show we like to call in the game. So this is really in the career what you do. So we want to talk about it, man. Thank you for making the time because you are in season. So you just came off of Labor Day weekend down in Indy, and pre-show we were talking. He's like, "Hey, I'm getting ready to go to Texas." So how long is your season? Like just the seasonality, right? Because we all know football, baseball has seasonality. What is your race season?
Our race season, we race 20 races in venue. I'm talking about for NHRA for a
Okay.
championship. So we go from March to November. So we basically we go from north to south, east to west. We race all the way down from Gainesville, Florida, all the way up to Seattle, Washington, down to LA, which is Pomona. We race Dallas, Texas, Brainerd, Minnesota, Indy, which is US Nationals, Ohio. We probably race around 18 major cities across the country because we go to 2 races twice. But next year, we're switching up venues where we're going to go to only each race one time. And we also got new races on the map like South Georgia Motorsports near Valdosta, Georgia. And we're going to Budds Creek, Maryland at MIR. So we're going to get back closer to some more East Coast racing. Go to Epping, New Hampshire, way up there. We're going to like Reading, Maple Grove, not this weekend, but next weekend.
Okay.
So like we
And,
travel all over the place.
and you come see us. The championship is still in Las Vegas, right?
Yeah, like so the Las Vegas is the second race to the end of our season coming up. So we'll see you over the Halloween weekend. We literally
Nice.
race Vegas and then we go right to the biggest car show and like car industry show, which is called SEMA at Vegas. If
Yeah.
people ever heard of SEMA, like Kevin Hart, all them type of people come out there, bring the cars. They got like all the deals like McGlure Car Wax, every car manufacturer, anybody that makes anything in racing, performance, car manufacturers, they are out there. And it's a huge show. So we literally race there in Vegas. And then literally that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we go right to that show to do that big convention show, which Vegas is always huge because we race the 4 wide there, and then we race one of our countdown races there, which is for the championship.
That's awesome. And that makes me jump into another, and apologize for this, MH, but since you brought it up, the part of racing that's like, not talked about a lot, but it's the sponsorship situation, right? So I'm pretty sure that gives you some time to work with your sponsors and showcase, because they're all out here, right? Like during SEMA. How important is sponsors for, for a racer or for just your company in general?
It's very. I mean, that's the only way that we survive. That's what pays all the bills. Racing. You don't work off of race winnings or nothing like that. There's just added bonuses that they just showcase for the team. But basically, it's all off of partnerships. It's finding partners that you can align yourself with, represent their brand, or you tie them in with other brands that you're tied in with, so they can do business to business together, and then you be their voice and their vehicle to get out there, so people know what their what their what their brand or messaging is all about. And for me, I've been in this sport now for a lot of years. My primary sponsor is Matco Tools, which is a tool sponsor, and for me, that's kind of like it's been my bread and butter because I'm a mechanic and I work on things. I like fabricating things and I like building things. So that was right up my wheelhouse where I gotta try to represent something, especially when I'm in it, and that's what I do. You know what I mean? And also changing people's lives where we put them in mobile tool stores where they're able to sell the tools. So
Oh, wow.
the so the hard part is that what people don't understand is that motorsports is a big business and is a big outlet. And for NHRA drag racing, what makes our sport so unique and special is that every ticket is a pit pass. Name one professional sport that allows you into a locker room. So our sport allows the fan when they buy a ticket in our races, we have from 30 to 40 to 50,000 peoples at a race. Through a whole weekend, we'll have over 100,000 people that come to our races throughout the whole weekend, from a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when you add up all 3 days. And then now with our TV packages, which is on the Fox network, like all the other motorsports are, like NASCAR, IndyCar, and different stuff like that, uh, we have over 1 million viewerships when they watch our show. So now our show credibility is climbing and stuff like that. But for me in general, man, I've been doing this now, man. This is my 17th year racing Top Fuel. And
That's awesome.
and I've been working hard at it where I race for other big teams and stuff like this. But this is I'm going in right now. This is my 4th season of owning my own team, as being my own team owner. And to do it, like, from our standpoint, especially for our culture, the thing about it is like just getting more of our culture to know what we do. You follow what I
Facts.
mean? And
Facts.
that's the main thing, is getting them out there, reaching out, because there's a lot of opportunity, because our sport's very well diverse. It's because they have drag strips near inner cities and everywhere else. And our
Sure.
culture's been in drag racing for a long
For,
time.
for
It's
a
not
long
until it's
time, boy.
bro, like
Mauler, bro.
like
Yeah.
you tell me when you grew up, you had that
Gosh.
uncle that came rolling down the street with a Bonneville,
Yeah.
souped
Hey,
up, or
and
El
you
Camino
knew
or
what
something like
corner
that, or
they were doing
Vega.
races. You
Yeah.
knew, like,
Yeah,
oh, hey, over on Lexington, they doing the drive. You just got to
come
get there at
on,
the right
man.
time. You
That's
knew what.
right.
For
That's
real, for
right.
real.
You know what I
That's
mean?
what's
So
up.
so it's so funny to me where we go certain places and some people are just not, they're not clued in, and they're like, and I hear it all the time, and drag racing's been hearing it all the time, because they're taking off the NASCAR counterpart. Like, man, y'all got, so how is it? Is it diverse out there? I said, man, what? I said, black people been doing this for years, brother. I said, when I grew up, I went there to Akron, New Jersey. My dad had all of his friends in the corner. They had their street cars. You know what I mean? And then you had all the Spanish boys over there with the rotary engines going rum, rum, and they got their stuff souped up, super clean, polished, looking nice. And then you had the other people over there that had their Camaros and Mustangs all souped up, street cars. Then you had the real deal Holyfield people with the enclosed trailers. Because I used to tell people, now tell me if I'm right or wrong. This is what we do. When I was a kid coming to the racetrack, this is a funny story. I used to go to the racetrack. I used to, when you're young, you used to judge people by the way they showed up. You know how serious we were. They drove this up to the racetrack. They spent all their money in that race car. That's all they got. That's even their daily driver. The car was pretty bad, but it wasn't that good because they drove it to the racetrack. Now you see somebody with a open bed trailer with a race car, like, all right,
Oh, there's like,
this
okay,
stuff pretty
step.
serious. This is a little
Right.
serious, like, right. Then when you saw somebody with an enclosed trailer, you like, that's big money.
Yeah.
That car ain't no joke. Don't be messing with Holmes over there. Don't be messing with him over there, right? And I'll never forget, I was 10 years old. And my dad and uncle took me to Englishtown, New Jersey, which is 45 minutes from New York, right? And we rolled up there and we saw the stuff that I saw on Diamond P TV back in the day, like Kenny Bernstein, right?
Mm.
Kenny Bernstein used to drive his car, the Budweiser King. And I thought Kenny Bernstein was cool because back in the day, he was a dude that had an ultra perm, with the super little curls. I said, man, that's a cool brother right there. I said, I never saw a white boy with a Jerry curl before. That's my man, right? right? Right. So I used to say that back in the day, man. My dad used to laugh. He's like, son, it ain't Jerry curl, son. It ain't Jerry curl. So when we were there, I looked at my dad with a serious face, and I go, Dad, what do they do for a living? Because they had semi trucks, like tractor and trailers with like
18
Miller
wheels on
Lights,
them.
like you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
everything shined up, polished up. They had Winston on one, they had Budweiser, Miller Lite, they had all these big names on it, right? And my dad looked at me, he goes, son, they professional. I said, what you mean professional? Because I know how my grandpa raised. It's like you had to work hard Monday through Thursday, save the money so we can go racing on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, like 1 weekend out of a month. You know what I mean? Not every week, but 1 weekend out of a month, right?
Yeah.
So when I got there, my dad goes, no, son, they get paid to do this. I looked at him. I was like, what? That's what I want to do. And
That's
I never
it.
forget to look. I never forget to look on my dad's face because our family, my grandpa came from a very poor family, and he gave my uncle and dad everything they wanted because him and my grandma worked at General Motors on the line down in Trenton, saved up their money, and they moved out to Chesterfield. And my grandpa became an entrepreneur and started his own business, which is a cesspool business. They pumped out septic tanks. Then he went from that to installing them at the houses, like digging the holes, getting the backhoes, dump trucks, installing it. Built the family business up where my dad and uncle, they lived out in the country, like the only black people out in the country where they lived at from Trenton, like 30 minutes on the outskirts of Trenton. And my uncle, my dad, when he got his car, he had a 1968 Barracuda that was 2 years old. And my uncle had an 8-year-old Corvette. My uncle and dad had the first little motorcycles that Honda brought over here from overseas, riding them on the streets when everybody else was riding pedaling bikes. And they were black people. You get what I mean? Like they were like, where do these guys come from? Where they get all this money? And then my grandpa always instilled was, he goes, you can have anything you want in life as long as you work for it.
Work for it.
If you work
Absolutely.
for it, you can have anything you want. It's how hard do you want it and how hard do you want to work for it?
Well, let's
So
talk about it, man, because you work for it, right? So we want to make sure we celebrate you too while we have you, right? So 4-time, okay? So not one, not two, I say not three, but 4-time, man. And like your first one was in 2012, and that's when you became the first black to win was it the excuse me for the letter part dyslexic here, but the NHRA. He was the first to win that, correct?
yes. And that was just a dream come true, man. I raced pro side motorcycles for 10 years and fell short 3 times, man. And that was like heartbreaking. I was like, man, am I ever going to get this done, man? I felt like Michael Jordan, man, going to the finals numerous times and not getting it done at first. You know what I mean? Like not making it to the final. He didn't make it to the final, right? And I was like, man, had all the talent in the world and couldn't get it done. Just red light and couldn't get it done. And then when we got there, Top Fuel, they took a chance on me in 2008. Came out, first race we qualified number 1, fourth race in we win. And then 2009, they made this deal where they reset the points like we do now for a championship, right? But
Okay.
2009, if we just had the normal deal where you count the whole season for a championship, we won a championship that year by over 300 points. We could have set the last 4 races out. We dominated so much, but they reset the points. We lost that championship by 20 points. And I'm like, what a brother got to do? I said, I
Yeah.
did it the right way. Now they reset it where I couldn't win. You get what I mean? So
Moving the goalpost.
yeah, man. And we just had to adapt to that system and figure it out and start testing throughout the season and make sure we're on point for the last 6 races. And then we finally turned that corner where we fell short 2010, 2011. There were stellar years. And then 2012, we just kept it rolling and did it again. And then we finally broke through. and fell short 13 and 14 where we were close again. It should have won those 2 years. And then 15, 16, they made a rule against us once we did it those 2 years because we locked the championship up before the last race with the countdown. With the countdown, we locked it up. We didn't have to race the last race and we won the championship. Then they came out with a new point system where you couldn't lock it up to the last race of the year. But it's one of those deals where, man, I tell you what, I'll never forget when we did it. I just thought about all the years that I put into the sport and what we went through as a team to make that happen. All the ups and downs. And I tell myself, was it worth it? Oh yeah, it was worth it. It was for sure worth it.
And looking at those 81 trophies, because your bio says 80 wins, but we were talking before. You let us know there's 81 trophies back there.
81.
Yeah, well, because the bio didn't get the one that we won at the beginning of this year, because we won one at the beginning of this year, and we got runner-up twice this year. We should be like at 83 right now. Messed up a couple times this year, but that's okay. We're gonna keep rolling, man. It's in my mind is the quest for 100. There's only a couple drivers that ever won over 100 race wins, and nobody's gonna catch John Force. That Joker's got over 150 some wins. He's been driving for 50 years, man. So I don't plan on driving for 50 years. So he's the king. Trust me, he's the king.
Let me ask you. Take us behind the wheel a little bit. Is it the car? Is it the reaction time? The crew? Like to a novice, take us. What's all the factors into building the championship team?
Well, the thing about it is at MH is what you said, man. It takes every piece of the puzzle. You can have a great driver with no car and a great team. That's what they're going to be, a great team and a great driver. No races. I'm going to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then if you take a good team, a great team with great leadership, with great crew chiefs that lead the way, because crew chiefs are like coaches, and you have two of them each team. One's an offensive coordinator and one's a defensive coordinator.
Okay.
And all of them put their work in to make it happen, right? They're made to bring everybody together. And then the team, they've got to put the car together flawless. Between every round, we tear our cars completely apart and rebuild the engines in 30 minutes.
Wow.
30 minutes. Like I'm talking about engine all apart, tires, clutch, everything off of it, and all back together, ready to start and run in 30 minutes. Wow. So it's got to be put together flawless, man. I mean, if you've never been to an NHRA drag race, you have to come and watch a Nitro run and what they do in the pits. That's the cool part. You get to come watch them, do all that, then go back to the stands, watch them run, get back and watch them do it all over again. So it's action nonstop where you're not just sitting around. Like you're a part of the action. You know what I mean? And that's what drew me into the sport, because I got to see myself and envision myself doing what I do today. And
That's awesome.
And if you got to take all those parts, brother, and if you get them all to fit together, and like I tell my guys, you can't be perfect by yourself. But if you surround yourself by a group of great individuals with the same mindset, you can make the perfect event happen, because you're going to catch the mistake before it gets to the track. And that's the key. And when you got a team that does that and that can manipulate and evolve as time goes, when something goes wrong, how to fix it. Our sport is more about fixing the problem. You got to be a doctor and diagnose what's going wrong with the car before you can tune it up and make it go quicker. You got to make sure everything's working right to make it go quicker.
So still behind the wheel, man, you've been clocked saying one of your fastest times was like 337 miles per hour, man. Like that just seems unfathomable.
Right.
How
Yes.
Just take us behind, like, how do you get up to that, right? Like that's a little different than doing 100 down the 75 freeway, the 15 freeway here in Las Vegas. But what is that adrenaline? What is that like? How do you get prepared to that? And then does life just seem real slow to you?
It does. Like when I drive on the highway, believe it or not, I just drive the speed limit. I don't drive fast because I do it every weekend.
Okay.
And what I want to do is I want to see what's around me. And when I drive, I see nothing, brother. When I drive, everything, like the dotted lines become straight lines. Like the all the signboards on the side, bro. It's like you don't even know what it says, man. It can say McDonald's. It looks like M. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So the craziest part about it is, for me, what people don't understand is that We do race the fastest accelerating vehicles on the planet. Period. Out accelerate the space shuttle taking off. Out accelerate anything. The only thing that keeps us on the ground are our wings on our race car. I wish I had one that I could show you that's near me because I got stuff in my case here I can show you. But they're in my case. But man,
And that's insane. So out of all of the, car races, you guys are the fastest, like faster than F1 or things like
oh,
that, or
oh, oh yeah,
all of them,
F1. Oh, I'm gonna give you an example. Let me give you some stats here so you understand where we're coming from. The
please.
fastest accelerating vehicles right now, what I mean by that is we go from 0 to 100 miles an hour in zero point 0.8 of a second. Not 1 second, in 0.8. In zero point 0.8, we're at 100 miles an hour. Literally, we travel 1,000 feet, which is 3 football field lengths, right? In 3.6 seconds. In 3.6 seconds, now our cars is over 340 miles an hour now,
That's
not 337. My fastest speed I've been is 339 and some change already this year. And we had a couple teams that went 341 and 342 and 343. But we ET. So literally, what I'm telling to you is, in every second we go down a racetrack, we're gaining 100 miles an hour. You get what I mean? So I want you to
insane.
think about this. If you push your foot on the gas pedal and you let off, if you go, oh my God, we'll press it. I was like, oh Lord, I let off. You went 100 miles an hour. You get what
That's
I'm
it.
saying?
That's crazy. So uh, I, it just hit image like image like
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
so. How did you decipher? Because you did motorcycles or motorbikes, or and excuse me for using the wrong terms, but you've done two wheels as well. What's the difference, and what was the drive between both of those in your kind of career?
Man, well, motorcycles, I told you I grew up racing motorcycles. That was my first
That's what
love.
started.
And two wheels and me riding a motorcycle is like somebody walking, because that's what I grew up doing. So it wasn't really crazy, it's just what I knew.
Mm-hmm.
But when I grew up as a kid, I looked at the nitro categories and said, I would love to do this one day. I would love, like, if I ever had the chance, the opportunity. And what people don't realize, when I race pro stock motorcycle, I race for one of the biggest sponsors of all time and biggest companies. I race for the U.S. Army. The U.S. Army sponsored me on a pro stock motorcycle.
Mm,
So we raced for the Army of One back in the days. And my partner in crime back then was a female named Angel, which is my teammate now. She drives in my Accelerate program for me in the A fuel ranks. And we landed the biggest sponsorship that was ever in pro stock motorcycle. And we were sponsored by the U.S. Army and Suzuki Motorcycles. And Mako Tools, who's my primary sponsor, was a major associate sponsor of my bikes with Tools. That's how I
okay.
built the relationship with them. And they saw what I did for the Army, and they were like, when that seat came available in their top fuel dragster, we were like, we'd like to give him a try because he's a great spokesperson. He's an athlete. And if he could drive, he'll do our brand great because
Mhm.
I'm a people person. Like, I like talking to people. I crack jokes, have fun, hang out, and I actually work. You get what I mean? So and that's the hardest part in motorsports now. Before, you just need to be a good driver. If you did was a good driver and you race win, it didn't make a difference how you carry yourself or how you talk or whatever it is. If you did, you just have more sponsors that you could sell personal agreements and make more money, right?
Right.
Well, now if you don't have that, you ain't got no sponsorship.
You don't have
Some of them don't even
nothing.
care if you win or not. They care how you treat their customers or how you represent them and what you do for their brand, because you
I
become a spokesperson and a salesperson for them. And the winning is just a added plus because it's going to get you more eyes on you. You get what I mean?
Absolutely. So in the space, how is it? Because we're talking different realms, and Bubba, right? Like Bubba has opened the eyes for the NASCAR, and Michael Jordan with his team, right? Like he's done, I think, on the motorcycle and on the car tour as well. And then everybody knows our Formula One guys. So how, because there's such different sports, do you guys have any kind of united front, look out for each other, support each other? Like how does that happen, or does that not kind of exist right now?
No, I think that we've got to do more. You get what I mean? As a whole group, and unify ourselves and be more together. You know what I mean? It's like, I wish I got to talk to Michael. I'm good friends with Bubba. Like I knew Bubba coming up, his whole deal coming up, and that was the best thing that came to that sport when Michael came in because it put a lot of eyeballs on it. And Bubba's a great dude, a great driver, and it made that sport, for more people to come to it. You get what I mean? And that's some
Absolutely.
things I think that Lewis Hamilton, like he really brought our culture into F1 on all different fronts because for one, he's an elite driver. You know what I mean? He's one of the best people that ever set their foot behind it. It's because of his passion, his dedication, the way he loves the sport. He's became who he was because how good he is because the kid can drive. I mean, he's not a kid. I mean, but he's been driving for years, but he is no joke, man. And for myself, it's just I've been over here in the drag race world by myself, man, and just trying to figure out how do we get more people to resonate to our sport when we have a lot of our people in our sport, but is not into that mainstream as
Yeah.
NASCAR was. Like, if it wasn't for your Dale Earnhardt's, not junior but senior,
Senior.
or your like, you know what I mean, or your Bill Elliott's or Rusty Wild, like NASCAR wouldn't be where that, or your Jeff Gordon's. You get what I'm saying? Jeff Gordon's the one that brought Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson's where he's at from the Hendrick deal. And then you got like all these other drivers, people know like Little E, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Like that sport was made what it was at a pinnacle a long time ago. You get what I
Right.
mean? And went
Absolutely.
boom. And now, it's just at that level. And F1, it hasn't stopped. You get what I mean? Like people are like F1 wasn't a big Americanized sport. It was always worldly sport. And the little people in America liked it a little bit. NASCAR was it, but now F1 is getting more popular than anything everywhere because the series they bought, where you got to see the drama, what it's really all about, learning and following them. And that's the same thing I think our sports get into now, where we have our own docu-series about to launch and come out too, where people will know who all the people in our sport is. Like if you're a drag racing fan, you know everything about drag racing because you're all in it. You know what I mean? But is to make it mainstream to where it becomes a household name. That's the
Yeah.
difference. You know what I mean?
So that Fox Sports deal is going to be huge, right? Like, having that is just going to be a great platform, and that docu-series will definitely help because that's open, like you said, a lot of eyes here. Well, kind of jumping into our kind of quick hits, we got something we like to call 3 and out. MH, you ready to hit it with the 3 and out?
Yes, sir. AB, this is just some random questions. I'm a random type dude, so our listeners can kind of get to know you. Yeah, you kind of mentioned this one already, but what is one of your nicknames growing up?
Ant. It's Ant and it's AB.
I love it. I love it. If you could afford any car, what would you drive? Just on your personal.
On my personal,
Yes, sir.
shoot, man, I can afford any car. Oh man. Shoot, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm an old school man. I like to have a retro ride, a '67 Nova, man. Back in the day, low, mean, like top of it being like charcoal gray with a light silver on the bottom, on the ground with an LS with twin turbos on it. Make it mean, baby. Make it mean.
What or who never fails to make you laugh?
Who never fails to make me laugh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I tell you what, man. He's crazy. Like new modern stuff, but back in the day was Bernie Mac, man.
Oh yes,
Bernie Mac, man. That's my man.
legendary. Do
Bernie
you
Mac.
have a bucket list?
Bucket list. I do have a bucket list. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay. Are you more cautious or bold?
I'm more bold.
Okay. What object do you misplace or you lose the most?
Oh man. Oh man. I would say the object I lose the most, man, is my wallet, man. I always misplace my wallet, man, and it freaks me out every time. I'm always like this. I'm scrambling
Yeah,
because I
yeah,
never
yeah,
want
yeah,
to.
yeah.
I never want to put it on me. I never want to put it in my. I got it in my pocket. I'm feeling my pockets. Then I think it's in my backpack. Then that joker's at the desk or it's over here. It's over there. Because I don't like keeping a wallet on me, man.
I love how we all did like this.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about too, and you know it ain't on you. You know it ain't here, but you're
Ain't
like,
no.
man, where I put that that at, man? Where I put that at?
Oh, my last one. You got to sing karaoke, man. They somebody told you got to sing. What's your go-to song? What we doing?
Oh, Lord have mercy, man. Hey, karaoke. Like I ain't gonna sing no song, but I'm gonna bring up some old stuff like the scenario. Like the
Right,
scenario, remember the
right,
scenario? Because you know
right.
why I always say, like, when they like, not the ditto first comes up the bat, no barriers included, no strings attached. But when we go back to the other thing, inside, outside, come around. Who's
Who's
that?
that? Brown.
Brown. That's what I'm talking about,
I
baby.
got you,
That's
man.
what I'm
I
talking about.
got you,
Yeah,
AB.
You know it, baby.
that's
I,
hilarious.
Bro, I used to play that song all the time, man. Like, back in the day, I used to be rocking it in my car back in the day, you know what I mean? And then that was my favorite song when it came out because it said my last name. It said, inside, outside, come around. Who's that, Brown?
That is the intro, the
That is
walkout
funny. Yeah,
song. That is,
Doom, doom, doom.
hey, we need that on some of your highlights. Like, I'm gonna figure out when we get to the media team how we can uh, do some songs around that, man. I love it, man. Oh, that was a good one going. All right, so man, time flies, but we're in the winner's circle here, man. That's which is appropriately named. You know about the winner's circle. You've been there 81 plus times. But in the winner's circle, man, I guess I want to really start by saying that you own your own company. So it is AB Motorsports that you own. And that's like a really, really big thing because it's like it is great to get the culture involved in the sport. We definitely want to grow that. But more and more, we talk about this a lot on the show is ownership and how important that is, right? Like some of these NBA players and some of the NFL players are now going back and looking into ownership, owning part of soccer, owning, fantasy, like different leagues, basketball leagues. So how important was it for you, and when did you really kind of mark the charge to say, hey, I really want to own my own?
Well, I think for me was I raced for Don Schumacher, the late and great Don Schumacher, who was the House of Champions in drag racing. Like he won numerous championships, man, like over 18 of them as a whole. And and when you look at it of what he's done, and I was part of it, but I remember being there where I still felt that I was trapped and confined. You get what I mean? Where I had other partners that wanted to be with me, but couldn't because there was a conflict of interest with all the other teams. Because you got to remember, he had 4 funny car teams and 4 dragster teams, so we had a lot of overlapping sponsors in our industry because a lot of our stuff in our industry has got to do with the automotive or race or high performance stuff, right? So with that being said, is that I finally looked at it and said, you know what? I've been racing, won championships here. Don and John Force, you know what I mean, Connie Coletta, they have carried the sport a long way. Well, who's going to be the next owners in the round? You get what I mean? Because there were multi-car teams. You had small car teams that had their own stuff and stuff like that. So I said, what can we do to go out on our own and do our own thing? And I said, and this is what I need to do to help grow this sport. And you gotta be there to take that torch to another level. So I put my head down and saying, I need to do this to create my own legacy and create other opportunities for people that I think that should be in the sport and give them a chance. And not just that, but start a program that you can help accelerate people's careers. You know what I mean? That's the main thing is trying to get people the opportunity that want to take it. You know what I mean? If I could see somebody had the passion in their eyes like I knew I had when I wanted to come into the sport, you know what I mean? Do whatever it takes. And I just want to be that bridge to help bridge that gap. You know what I mean? To give them that bridge to get over so they can have opportunity to go out there and do what they want to do and give them a platform to shoot for. You know what I mean? Say, hey, I'm here. I did it. This is how I done it. This is what can happen, but you have to do this work. I'm not going to do it for you. I'm not going to sign you up. And I'm going through that phase right now with my own son, who's a very, very talented individual at drag racing. He's sharp as anything. And the only thing that he has to do to execute to be better, he's got to work on his work ethic. I tell him every day, ain't no secret. Like, he wants it just to happen. And I said, this ain't gonna happen. I said, you got all the talent in the world. If you put the work in, man, like sit there and practice your craft and
Hmm.
also do the things that you need to do, like come in the shop and work on your car, learn your car. The more you learn about it, the better you can race it, the better you
I
understand it.
understand it. Yep.
And trying to teach them all this stuff, but they see what I got, but they didn't see where I came from.
How hard you
You
work
get what
for it.
you get what I'm saying? They see
Absolutely.
everything that dad has. They see everything I say, but you see how hard dad works. But you got to see where dad came from. And it wasn't easy, but think about it, it looks easy now because we're sustaining what we got.
Hmm.
But we started from here to racing a motorcycle, to racing a top fuel car, to winning championships. And then from that, owning our own team and creating our own destiny. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like that's a roadmap, man. That's a deal where like Bubba had Michael and Denny come in. I didn't have Michael or Denny come in. I had, don't get me wrong, at the start of my career on pro stock motorcycle, I had
Hmm.
Troy Vincent, who was a defensive back for the Philadelphia Eagles.
And now,
Troy came in and
big time NFL
now he's a
executive.
senior VP executive underneath Roger Goodell of the NFL. But Troy was so instrumental as a mentor to me, where these were some powerful words. He says, AB, you are a great athlete. He goes, no matter what you choose to be, you could be successful at. But what I wanted you to be successful at is learn the business side of it.
Mm.
So he goes, I want you to be a champion off the track. You already won on the track. Learn how to be it off the track.
Man, those are key words, man. The
And
key motivation. Yeah.
it resonated with me, man. And I was like, I got you. And I was 23 years old. He owned my team for the first 2 years in pro stock motorcycle. Then he goes, all right, here's the truck, here's the trailer, here's the equipment, and here's your monthly note. Now find a sponsor and you could pay for it, and this is all yours. I was like,
Wow.
how? I'm like, what? I'm
Wow.
like, and you talking about crash course, brother? It's like all those business classes I had in college started coming in hand. Then I wish I paid a little bit more attention when I was in accounting. You know what I mean?
But and I mean, yeah, that's definitely one big part of it. But the other part is just like the opportunity. And I think I want to kind of
Absolutely.
use that to jump into what you have with AB Motorsports, your accelerator program, which is now giving other people the opportunity. So it was great. Tell us the genesis of like when you started that accelerator program and how that's going right now.
Well, the Accelerate program, it's been really good and instrumental for a lot of different people on different aspects. From what people always thought about first, they say, "Oh, this is a driver development program. I want to be one of your drivers." I say, "No, it's not." I said, "We help develop drivers if you have a skill set that you're in, and we could be a part of that. We are basically we are the tool, and we have the tools around us to give you to get you where you want to go. You know what I mean? It's for people that's already on the path and they need that extra boost or need that extra help or they need information. You get what I mean? So from a marketing standpoint, from a public speaking standpoint, then if you need some driver knowledge of skill sets on how to be better or how to handle high pressure situations, we have that too. Or for people that want to build a whole race team, we helped Sean Reed develop his whole race team and build it and got him all the right parts and pieces and gave him a tune up to start
Mm,
where he was very highly competitive, and we worked back and forth with his car and our car.
that's
You get what I
amazing.
mean? So
Absolutely.
we have it from small details, different things, to turnkey packages. We package up any other way, and it's also a deal to help out the youth. All the kids that we help out that are young, that's all free pro bono stuff just to help them get to where they want to get to. Then we got the professional side of it, which is a business that we do different packages to help people out that we charge as fees for.
That's awesome. You never can have too much information.
Absolutely not. Well, the thing about it is that if you went through it and you have all these tools that you invested in, you can actually share those tools for other people to be successful too and help them get there. If we can grow the industry and it can grow it right, I mean, that's what it's all about at the end of the day, where you can see it where our classes look full. We have bright new young talent coming in and
That's
they're be
awesome, man.
successful driving their business up. And if everybody else is growing and prospering, our sport is prospering if we all do it together.
Do the athletes and drivers get into the accelerated program?
Man, they go on my website under antronbrown.com. We have a forum there where they can, it gives them a link to email to us and give us their contact information. We get back to them. All they got to do is state what they're looking to do and what they're trying to do, or information that they need. And then we assist and get back to them. And then people send resumes to be like, especially kids send resumes in. And I look them over personally of different kids that we're going to help develop from an early age all the way to their professional careers, that we make them part of the program that we help with. And we have
That's
several on
amazing.
already right now.
And what's the duration of the program? Like, I'm pretty sure that you're meeting it depends, right? Because you're meeting people at different areas of where they are in their journey, right?
Yeah, it's all different levels, and it depends on what they're looking for and what they need. You know what I mean? It's like everybody needs something different. Everybody looking for different things, and I give them kids different ideas. Like I gave like a one kid, and I tell this story all the time. I gave him an idea of a pizza shop. And I said, one of my first sponsors was a pizza shop. He's like, really? I said, yeah, when I rode dirt bikes. He goes, well, how'd that work out? I said, well, you know what the coolest part was? The owner, went in there and asked him for a couple $100 to pay for some entry fees and some travel funds to get to a race. And he goes, no, I got one better yet. And this is what resonated for me about working. He goes, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. He goes, I'm closed on Mondays. And he goes, so I'm going to open up my restaurant in the evening time for you, from literally from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And whoever you bring to the restaurant, I'm going to take my food cost out. And then whatever we have left over, I'm going to give to you for sponsorship. So it's whoever you get to bring in this door when we turn the lights on. So I called all my friends, my family, got them all to come.
That's
I'm looking
awesome.
for a couple $100. Do you know I jammed that place out where it was like a Friday night with people, because I worked it all. I got all my family and people to show up. And I ended up with with a couple grand of money in my pocket. I would race for the whole year off that. You know what I mean? Like back then. So those are the kind of ideas, and the people go like this. Wow, I never thought about that. You know what I
Love
mean? It's just thinking about those creative ideas. But the owner was really smart. It was a Monday night where he's not busy. He still made money for his food, and he's got new customers that never been to his restaurant. So those restaurants, they liked his food, so they became other customers that kept on coming back after that. And then I got out somehow returned too, because I did it on the night that he had off, and we got a return and put his pizza deal. And I started pushing people to order his pizzas all the time and
I
his
love
food.
it. I love it. All right, so another kind of venture you have, man, that I saw on your website. We're gonna make sure we get that website in the show notes. But you also have AB Pits, was it pit side experience, right?
Yes.
So one thing you notify, like I didn't know this was a part of your ticket pass, but what is your experience that's a little bit different than just like the pit pass that you get when you purchase your ticket to an event?
Yeah, so when you come to an event, you already get a pit pass. Like even GA ticket gets you into the pits, right? So we have the pit side experience that is offered that you can get through all of our partners like Macro Tools, FEP, Hanksterfers, Lucas Oil, like Summit Racing Products, all the Toyota, all the people that's on our cars are our sponsors. We actually have a hospitality area that's a big semi truck with big awnings wrapped all the way around it, and we have a personal chef that cooks food, and it's a deal set up right next to the race car. So all of our partners can bring all their customers in, entertain them, and they can actually see the race car right on the outside of the extensions and stuff that's on the other
That's
side of
awesome.
it. So you see the pit crews working and everything else. It's like being on pit road with a restaurant table and seeing everything happen right on the side of you. You know what
That's
I
nice.
mean? So it's the
I
best
mean,
experience you can put there right in front of them. And what it does, it goes miles, because then people get to see it up close and personal and have that experience. And then I get to walk into the pit side experience and actually talk a day and explain what's going on in our day, what we're going through, what we're doing, and everything that's happening. So once we're able to do that, then people get that and understanding, like it's one of those experiences and walk away that they got to come the next year and do it again. It's one of
well,
those
there you
deals
go.
that you get
So,
hooked.
so you see one of the series coming to your town. Make sure you go to that website and get that AB Pit Side experience. There it is.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, so man, wrapping up. Time flies when you're having fun, man. One quick thing I want to add before we get out of here, but you're also honored, man, and like I said, we love giving flowers. Just tell us about that experience when you were honored for the greatest sports legends, when you were with Terry Bradshaw, James
Oh
Worthy,
man.
Dave Winfield. Like, just tell me what it was like to be in that room, and then be honored amongst other people that are great in their sport.
I well, man, I tell you what, that was an honor right there when we got that award at the Nick Boncani Fund, and just honoring honorary legends in different sports. And man, when you go up on the stage and you see people like that, and Kenny the Jet Smith was there getting honored at the same time too,
Yeah,
and
let's go.
it was tight, man. It was one of those deals where you go, man, I'm amongst greatness, and the people that were unbelievable at what they did and what they do at the current time too. And for me to come in there on the motorsport side and to be honored, man, it was unreal. It was unreal, especially from a track racing perspective, and for putting us on the map like that when we go there. And I just look back at that day and I still got that medal hanging up. It's down the hallway where I got all my medals hanging up and stuff. You look at it and I walk past all this stuff every day. I don't
Mm-hmm.
sit here and look at it because I'm still trying to get more. You get what I mean?
Hey, race
So
to 100. You said it here. We
that's
definitely
right,
got that on
man. That's
record.
right. That's right.
All
That's the
right,
game
man.
plan.
So fine, wrapping it up, we call this part the assist, and I'm gonna switch it up just a little bit. So I'm gonna ask for two things for the assist, but in the assist, this is where you give like the coaching gem, or maybe words to live by. So, but I'm gonna ask you two parts. One, I want you to give us maybe words to live by, words you would tell your younger self, or a quote that you live by. Okay, that's the first part. But then the second part is I want you to tell our listeners what's one thing that they can do to learn more about this sport and get involved.
All right. So the first part, the quote to live by, is one of my favorite ones, and I actually came up with it myself telling people something because you always talk about resistance in life, right? Things that hold you back. Sometimes we get in our own way. And one thing I always told myself, I said the only way you beat resistance is with persistence. Persistence beat resistance every day. Something may hold you down for a moment, but if you keep going, you're going to overcome it no matter what. No matter what door keeps on closing in your face, no matter how many times you stumble, no matter how many times you fall, no matter how many shots you miss, no matter how many races you lose, if you stay with it, you will overcome it and conquer it. And my trick is every time I overcome something in my life and I get to an and I level up because you level up. How do you get past that next level? How do you get past that level after that? And you got to attack it each level at a time. And the only way you do that is being uncomfortable. You got to get uncomfortable.
I love
And
it.
you know what I mean? If you get uncomfortable, that means you're growing. If you feel comfortable all the time, that means you at status quo. That's the person with the 9 to 5 job. You're doing the same thing every day. I'm gonna pay my bills. I'm gonna stop at the same place while on the way home. And when I come home, I'm gonna sit on the same couch. I'm gonna watch the same sitcom show every night, right? Or you're gonna be that person. You ain't gonna make it home for that sitcom show because tonight you're doing something different. You get what I mean? and
Absolutely.
and that's how you level up, and that's my deal. Persistence beats resistance every day, but
There it
you just
is.
gotta have the fuel to be persistent.
Awesome. Give us that second part.
The second part on how do we get people to get more information to come to our sports, you said.
Yeah, just one thing that our listeners can take away, like, just to get into it. Because a lot of times people don't do things because of the lack of information or just the fear or whatever. So, what's one thing that just can kind of open the doors or for them to get the toes wet?
I tell you one thing is just getting out. For me, you never know what opportunity lies for you until you go experience different experiences, plain and simple. And I can tell you this right now. If I get both of you live to an NHRA drag race, you will never start talking about it for the rest of your life. I had football players, movie stars, NBA players, know them all. They come out, even Shaquille O'Neal. And when they saw it and the snot came out their nose and the car hit them, they're like, oh my God, what was that? They're hooked like big mouth bass. They hooked.
So there it is. So you hear that, MH?
I heard. I did.
Yeah, Black and Sports Live at one of these.
Yeah, I hear it. I hear it.
Vegas,
I love
baby. We're coming to Vegas, October. That Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You tell me what day you're going to hang in my pit with me. And we're going to take you to the starting line and let you stand next to 2 cars. and bring them earphones because you're going to
Earplugs plugs and headphones. All right, MH, man, please, man, get us out of here with the final thoughts.
All right, man, we appreciate you, man, especially in season, spending some time with us. And I don't want to speak for EJ, but I feel like we're amongst greatness as well, man. So it's been an honor to talk to you tonight and get to know you. And yeah, we're going to take you up on that offer in October. I'm glad you said it. We're going to take you up on that for real. So we appreciate you, man.
No, man. Well, I appreciate both of y'all for having me on, man. And thank you for spending the time and just giving a little love to some drag racing, man, and what we do. And it's much appreciated, without a doubt.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again. Like I said, we're going to put all this information in our show notes. We're definitely going to be following you, supporting you. We're just some of your biggest fans, man. So thank you once again, like you may said, for spending the time during season. So this is the first time, but it's not the last. So we're going to continue following what you do, and however we can support, we want to continue to do that. So we just want to thank you again. We want more importantly, thank our listeners. We hope you enjoy the different content we bring, so you're the first, racer that we've brought on. So I hope this just kind of excites and fuels our listeners to kind of learn more. So that's why I kind of asked that, Jim. Hey, we drop new shows every Thursday. So please subscribe on our YouTube channel. Cause as you know, visual representation matters. If you can see it, you can be it. And then you can subscribe and listen to us anywhere you listen to podcasts. So please, as we say at the end of every show, stay safe, practice gratitude, and know we're rooting for you. Let's go. Hey, thank you, AB. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Screaming, all us blacks got is sports and entertainment until we even.
Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Look. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent about 2 racks on handmade new rags. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap.